Hello. How are you guys doing? I decided to go live tonight really quick. I don't want to be up here all night. However, y'all, I had to. When I say absolutely had to, I had to do this video because the debacle annoyed me. That's what happened. It annoyed me. I got superbly annoyed. And I was like, you know what? I just want to shed my light on it, my principles on what I see that's going on here. Okay. So again, it's not going to be long. I haven't done a live video in a long time. I am so sorry. I've been so busy. And as you can see, like I'm injured. So I had to have a procedure on my elbow so that I don't have to get surgery and take all this long time off of work. So, it has been a journey. So in order for them to not give me surgery, I have to get these small procedures along the way. So that's why I haven't been really up here, injured, working while injured. So, I still got a lot going on. Let me fix my puff, make sure it's big enough because I like my hair big. All right. So I wanted to get into this Keke debacle. Now, I told my son I ordered some pizza and it just came. So I told him I was going to eat pizza with him. So I don't even want to be up here that long tonight, but it is just a lot going on social media. There is a lot going on all over. Okay. So I just want to start with this. I want to get away from what we have seen socially on our social medias, on our platforms, on our Instagrams and timelines and what have you, right? Because the world, we have a tendency to do this. We have a tendency to look at something, right? Because that's what we do. We look at something and then, like I said before, we jump to one side immediately. When we look at things on social media, we see something on social media and then there is a masses of people that are going to be a collective at that moment, a collective vibe. And then we go with that collective. Okay. So we jump on one side immediately without actually getting intel on what's going on. All right. So the bottom line is this. We got to stop just jumping on one side, if not one or another. We have to really delve into what is going on. All right. That's where the great divide in our world comes from. Oh, this ear feels good. So here's the thing. For me, I never automatically jump on one side. That has never been me. I am not like that. I do not hear something and then be like, oh, that sounds bad, or oh, that sounds wrong. I really take the time to think about it, delve into it, get more information, kind of like see like what's going on. So I don't ever come from a standpoint of being trauma based, because a lot of times our collective comes from trauma-based stuff. Women that have gone through things, they have gone through the same thing. Men that have gone through the same thing. People that are not healed from things that have happened to them. Now a situation happens that remotely reminds them of it and they jump right on it. They are so trigger-based. They are so trauma-based. And I am not a trigger-based, trauma-based coach. I don't come from a stance of a trigger or a trauma. I come from unbiased core principles that I myself relate to. Now, are mine's always correct? Not at all. But at the same time, I come from a core principle and a core base. Okay. I think that anything I come from doesn't come from feelings about anybody in particular or anything in particular. Because here's the thing, those things vary, right? Those things, there's variables in that. Like a lot of guys were saying, one guy said on my post, like, my sister shared my video. Y'all know in my Divine Feminine group, my videos are private, but my sister be staying wanting to share my videos, y'all. So she shared the video and somebody was up there like, hey, so what you're basically saying is, no, I'm not basically saying. I never basically say. If I said it, I said it. If I said it, I meant it. I said what I said and I meant what I said. And I said what I actually meant. There is no such thing as, so what you're basically saying is, or you're inadvertently, or you're implying, don't tell me what I'm implying. I said exactly what I said, and that's that. And then I leave it at that, okay? And we're going to get into it. But I just had to lay a little bit of groundwork, right? I will say this, that when things happen in relationships, it depends on the people in the relationship as to how it affects them. Every relationship is different. Every person is different. So how things affect the individualized unit is up to them, okay? So I don't want to say that I ever err on the side of right, like my way is right. But what I will say is that I promote healthy, flourishing, evolving, growing relationships. So when I jump on one side, it's usually because that side will get you to that in the quickest, fastest way possible. Okay. So in the Keke Palmer situation, I'm going to start with this. For a healthy, flourishing, evolving relationship, that man, regardless of what he said online, okay, let's start here, is not deemed insecure in my mind. So I'm just going to put that out there. I don't feel like, I know a lot of guys are like, yeah, you can't be insecure when you got to go like that. I don't feel like where he was coming from was insecurity. It didn't give off, I'm insecure. It gave off, I don't like it, period. People have a tendency to splash labels on things, like, and just throw it on people. Like, yeah, that's insecurity. Who says? I could not like something, and it doesn't mean that there's an insecurity within me for why I don't like it. I just don't like it. And it is because of usually certain reasons. And in this case, I'm going to shed light on some of the reasons of why he probably didn't like it, y'all. Okay, so I'm going to start with that. I don't think that man was insecure. If you agree, let me know. If you don't, let me know. You know, I know a lot of people are going to catch this replay because I just posted this today. I did not give like a heads up. It just came to me and I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it. Okay. So number 2, let's start here. Keke Palmer had her cheeks out. And in the event that your husband does not mind things like that, your boyfriend does not mind things like that, then sweetie pie, by all means, go for it. Okay. I would never tell you what to do. If your husband or boyfriend doesn't say he minds, then by all means go for it. But I'm just going to go ahead and say this. At a certain age, that thing's a setup. If a guy be like, oh yeah, you know, I don't care what you wear. It's a setup. At this point in my life, if my husband be like, I mean, yeah, I don't care what you wear. Yeah, he's not going to say, I think you look like a straight 304 in it. He's not going to say that. I'm going on Facebook, y'all, because, you know, it's a Facebook user. And y'all know, I don't know what y'all be talking about in there. When it say Facebook user, I don't know who it is. So, you know, announce yourself if you're on Facebook, please, because I love that when y'all say who you are, because then I know who I'm talking to. Okay. So all the way out, cheeks, peach, all the way out. Okay. So, like I said, to me, it's a hey, Marsha, long time no see / hear, girl, but it is so good to see you. So I just feel like even if a guy do say, go ahead and wear that, I feel like it's a setup. I feel like in their mind, they feel like you're supposed to know that this is not appropriate. And he doesn't think that it's appropriate, right? There's also a scripture in the Bible that says that wives, you got to dwell with your husbands, and husbands dwell with your wives according to knowledge. And in that particular scripture, that is a Greek word that means katanosis, right? So katanosis means natural knowledge. So it is not a super hyper spiritual translation. What that verse means in the Bible, when it says dwell with your spouse according to knowledge, it means natural knowledge. It means what you know about that person. If you know that person does not like certain things, you dwell with them according to that. If you know that they love certain things, you dwell with them according to that. So I feel like if your person doesn't mind and you truly know that they don't mind, then by all means. But again, like I said, I feel like it's a setup. I know for me, I can dress however I want when I'm around my husband. He never really tells me what to wear. He doesn't tell me how to dress. He doesn't tell me what's inappropriate and what's appropriate. I think that he chose me because he knows that I know what's appropriate and what's inappropriate at certain places and in certain venues. That is the glory of a husband, when his wife knows how to do that. So if my husband says, hey, get dressed, we're going to a business meeting, I know what to wear to a business meeting. If he says, hey, get dressed, we're going to the strip club, I would know how to dress at the strip club. And if he said, oh, hey, get dressed, we're going to a gala, I would know what kind of gown to put on. We're going to a cocktail party, I would know what to wear. So there are things that are appropriate when you're on their arm, and things that, you know, Hey, some of us don't know. We didn't take the course on how to dress, in certain venues. All right. So that's number one. So I dress however I want, right? However, I will say this: if I'm going to be more on the provocative side, let me go ahead and say this: I will only dress like that when he's around. I will only dress like that if he's present. And there's a distinct reason for that. I'm going to explain something. I'm going to turn this down just so I can see the comments, but I am going to turn this down just a little bit so I can see, but I'm going to break something down for y'all that you might not even have thought of as a girl or as a woman in this situation. A lot of people are picking out what's normal, what's natural, what sounds good, and what everybody else is saying. But there is a lot of deeper things that are happening at work here, okay? So now that you realize you're dwelling with your person according to knowledge, like for instance, I know my husband has evolved as a man now. There are certain things that I would wear at 32 that I don't wear now in my 40s, that he would have been okay with then, that he might not be okay with now. And when I say okay with, more like, not like he's like, ugh, but more like, okay, you gonna wear that? Not even that he would be mad, but just, okay, all right. We got to know when to lay the towel in as women too, but that's a whole nother podcast. All right. So if I'm going to be a little bit more provocative, there will only be in his presence. There is a reason for this, a very significant reason for this, right? If a woman is dressed a certain kind of way, whether right or wrong, in our society, men are sexually attracted to women that look sexy, that look alluring, that look magnetic, that look seductive, that look attractive. They are attracted to that. It is in their innate nature. They are just simply wired that way. It is literally like putting a gazelle in a lion's den. And I'm not joking. Like, I know that sounds extreme, but I feel like when I'm talking to ladies, I gotta be extreme because we just don't get it. There's just a lot of stuff we just don't get. And then we just be out here looking crazy, making a fool of ourselves because we really don't understand what's going on or how the other psyche thinks, right? So you don't do stuff like that. You would never go and put a gazelle in a lion's den and then be like, oh, wait, don't bite it. Don't eat it. Don't catcall it. Don't sniff at it. Don't pounce on it. We would never do that. So why would we do that in our natural world? You don't put temptation in front of something that is in their nature to kill, to slay, and then be upset when it kills or slays. Now, I know that sounds extreme because we're talking about men now and not lions. However, men have an innate nature that when they see something that they like, that they want, that they're attracted to, there's something, receptors that go off in their brain that cause them to be a little bit more assertive, a little bit more aggressive. And then you're out like that with no protection. It's just weird to me. Like, it doesn't make good sense to me that you'd be out so scantily clad without anybody except for a bunch of other gazelles that could get eaten up to help you. You out with a bunch of chicks. Got all our gazelles in the lion's den. That's number one. So all the women saying that, well, I mean, she got her groove bag and she looked good. And, men need to know how to control themselves, because I saw that too. Yeah, shut the hell up. That doesn't even make sense, what you're saying. They need to know how to control them. And so should a lion. A lion should know how to control itself too, should they come up on you, but they don't. Okay? Men in general, and I don't know another way to say this, are not domesticated enough to deal with that. They are not tamed enough to be able to deal with things like that. All right? They're still ferocious. Now, what our society is doing, though, is they're doing a very good job of emasculating the men in the world. There's declawing them. They are softening them, neutralizing them, and basically saying, like, they're getting rid of the masculine energy in our world. I don't know if y'all don't see it happening, but it's happening right before our very eyes. Anything that looks like it is not docile or it looks like it goes one side or the other, our society is cracking down on that in a very weird way. So in our world, it seems like everything got to be neutral now. Everything got to be just like, oh, okay, well, boys and girls can use the same bathrooms, and there's a reason why boys and girls don't use the same bathrooms. There's a reason for that. There was always a reason for that. And now all of a sudden that reason has gone by the wayside because of the way our society is going. Everything got to be equal. Same bathrooms, but we're not the same. We're not equal, y'all. We're not. And that's getting played. We're doing ourselves a big disservice by doing that, by trying to get equality, but that does not still take away the natural instinct of a man. We are not the same. Men and women are not the same. We look the same, and we don't even look the same. All we do is we got similarity in features. We all got a head, 2 eyes, a nose, 2 ears, a mouth, 2 arms, 2 legs. But we don't look the same. We're not the same. We're not built the same. We are not wired the same. So guess what? You can't put a domesticated animal in a cage with an undomesticated animal being them. We're the domesticated animals. We were born domesticated. They are born undomesticated in a sense because they were meant to, go get the food and fight things, So they are born undomesticated. Then we train them to become domesticated, right? Y'all with me? We train them to become domesticated and then think that one day something won't trigger their undomestication. It's no different than that lady that bought that orangutan as a pet and then it ate her face off one day just because something happened. She doesn't even know what happened. It got triggered and it ate her face off. So no, I'm not saying that guys are that bad. But what I'm saying is that you don't put them in the same arena unprotected by either another man, or you shouldn't be in the arena not dressed like that. And it's another reason. There's another segment for why I'm going to tell you why you shouldn't be dressed like that. And definitely if you don't have a man with you, okay? So this is the dilemma that we put ourselves in. We want to be the same as men. So there was a girl that also posted on one of our posts and said, oh, look at, she had her cheeks out, but look at him. He's a whole dad. And he posted a picture of him with his shirt off and his shorts on. They weren't even boxers. They was real shorts. He just had his shirt off and he was sitting in the room with the phone and he was taking a selfie. If he could sit like this, then she could have her cheeks out. A man without his shirt on is in no way equivalent to a woman with her ass cheeks out. That is totally different. And this is where I'm getting the part where I'm saying we're not the same. And we keep trying to make ourselves the same. We keep trying to compare ourselves in such a way where it doesn't even make sense. Like, oh, he a father and he got his shirt off. Okay, here we go. Now we lost the argument because now you're just being delusional. Now we can't even talk logically about this situation because women literally are just making it so hard. Like, are you kidding me? You just compared him taking a picture with his shirt off, which men walk around with their shirt offs all the time. They play basketball with their shirts off. They at the gym with their shirts off, or the smallest shirts you ever seen, to a woman with her peach cheeks out. And it was nice and lifted too in that little thong, okay? It looked nice. So we're comparing the two now? That doesn't even make logical sense. All right? So let's start here. So you dwell with your person according to knowledge, right? I'm not going out looking like prey without my husband here. That's me. That's just me, period, okay? If I could give y'all any advice, don't go out looking like prey without your husband here or your man if you have one. Now, if you don't have one, you might want to go out looking like prey because then, you might get you one. But if you already have one, I just feel like it's a no bueno, okay? All right. So y'all saw Usher's face, right? Usher was basically like, when he saw her, he was like, we got the picture. He was like, whoo. Now, when a guy make that face, you done lost. When you walk past a guy and he go, ooh, you already know. You already know where his mind went. You already know what he's thinking. You already know he can't even hide it at this point. All right. So when you go out without your mate, you need to look tasteful, pretty, sexy. But butt cheeks out is a bit much and has zero to do with the security of the man. So we're going to debunk that. We're going to throw that argument out the window early on. That you being out with your butt cheeks out has nothing to do with the security of the guy. All right. Because the only thing it has to do with is the respect to the man that you're with. That's it. What guy wants something that he's committed to be with, take care of, have a child with, would want that out? Something that he deems as his. Now we'll get into that later, but he deems it as his. And then you go out and let everybody in the world, see it. Just my take. Just my take. Now, here's another thing, because Keke Palmer's a celebrity, right? Keke Palmer's a celebrity. So she probably got security and all type of stuff. But let's take her situation and bring it into real life, real time as far as us, okay? So the last thing your man wants to see, because we have a tendency to do this too, because I don't understand what is wrong with us. But what we'll do is we'll go out looking like that, right? And then we'll come home thinking that he wants to hear this, right? Oh my God, babe, I was out and all these guys kept like yelling at me. They was catcalling me. This guy asked me to come to the car and this guy kept grabbing me at the bar. I was like, oh my God, stop. And we think that he wants to hear that while he is looking at you in the outfit with your butt cheeks out. I mean, I just feel like we can't make this up. Like, why are we so delusional to think that they want to hear that? And then when they like in their head, they don't say anything, or they like, whoa, look what you got on. And now we're upset that they weren't empathetic to the plight. Like, well, I was just telling you what happened. And he like, and you did this to yourself. Because remember, he's still a man and he knows what men think. He knows what goes through their head. So when you go out looking like that, because he knows what he thinks when he sees another woman out looking like that. They're not that complicated, y'all. They're actually pretty simple creatures in a sense, like they're not as complicated. All right. So we got to stop going off of, see, Isis, you got to be good because after this summer, I realized that hell is hot and I don't want to go there. Okay. I prefer to go up to the cool clouds of the heavens. Okay. So be nice because girls do be brain dead. Like, I don't understand. And even if that do happen, like, that's the last thing he wants to hear when you come in the house is, oh my God. So they was grabbing up at me at the bar. And another thing, as regular people, we got to stop taking these celebrities' lives and then modeling ours after theirs. They are not like us and we're not like them. That girl could have security. That girl could have, her ride, her black SUV waiting right in the front so that she could she might have a back interest where she could go out of. So when I'm talking about things like this, it is for learning and teaching purposes to the regular lay woman that is out here in these regular streets, okay? I'm not necessarily getting on Keke Palmer. I'm just using it as an example and a teaching point for the rest of us. Cognitively impaired. Yes, you know what? We'll take that. We'll take cognitively impaired, Isis. We like that. We like that word, okay? I could think of a few more, but we like that one, all right? So the next thing is we so delusional. Like, I feel like the man does not have the ability to protect us from home. So when we go out and we're dressed like that, there's nothing that he can do about it except watch us walk out the door and hope for the best. So then we think that, or he might not be home, but then we think that he's going to be settled in that thought. In that thought, there are other thoughts that are coming up, like, why would she want to dress like that? Why would she want to be out looking like that? Why would she do that? Like, and it might change his thought process surrounding you and your mentality at that point. Because I know for me, like my husband don't get worried about stuff. Like he don't be like, oh, she about to go out and cheat on me. I don't ever think that's the thought. But the thought would definitely be like, oh, this ain't for me. This is for the birds. Like I'm not around for this. Like, nah, this is not something I want to deal with. And most guys I would think, would think like that. So, I don't understand why we wanting the sympathy and we want him to feel good and tell us, oh, babe, they was trying to talk to you while you was out. I know how to. No, it's not going to happen. We're delusional if we think that it is. All right. So basically back to this. Keke got your cheeks out. Now that's cool. We got to know where to do what, where. If you at Miami at the Cabanas, perfect. Perfect. You in, Puerto Rico, San Juan, you're on a cruise, Turks and Caicos, you're on a beach. Y'all know the deal. You're in a Coliseum. Like, I get it though, but I just feel like she should have had a stylist. Like, we're supposed to know the rules by now at this age. Keke might be a little younger, but at this age, we're supposed to know the rules. Like I said in my old video, the rule of lace is nude is classier. Okay. Nude is the classier look if you're going to wear lace. And this is just for my regular girls that's out here in the streets. If you're going to wear lace, it should be nude. The reason why is because, again, nude tricks the natural eye. So we don't know, and the other people don't know where the lace ends and you begin. It kind of tricks the psyche of the eye. When you wear black lace, it shows exactly where you end and the lace begins. It does not have a classy look. It sleazes it out, as a matter of fact. It gives you more like a provocative, almost a vixen type look. And it says, rip this off me. That's what it says, y'all. Like, I don't know if y'all know that, but black lace on a bare body says, rip this off. Did y'all ever think of why companies came out with lingerie? Like, did anybody ever think about like why a company came out with lingerie? Like, what does lingerie do to the male psyche? Like, what does it do to their mind when we have it on? I don't know. But it obviously does something, because people don't come out with stuff unless they do research on it, especially bigger companies. All right. So there's something that lingerie does to a man that shows just enough that it gives openness to the imagination of what he could do with it, how he could do it, how he could rip it off, rip me out the plastic. So that's why it's meant for the bedroom, y'all. It is not meant to be outside in it where there's no inhibitions and there's no holds barred. Listen. If I got that on, I am a married woman. If I got that on, I am in the right place at the right time with no inhibitions, no children, right? Because children, they mess stuff up. You just be like, never mind. I'm tired. Like, kids went to bed all late. Now you like, lingerie, no. But if you're in an island, a hotel room, a nice weekend, and you got lingerie on, that thing says, I'm asking for it. That thing says, savage me. Ravage me. If you got that on, you about to get savaged. Period. That's why, y'all, it's a psyche thing. That's why there's a difference between black and white lingerie. When you have on black lingerie, it says something. When you have on white lingerie, it says something different. And the psyche knows. It's not a conscious thing. It is a subconscious, unconscious thing. All right. But wait, what happens when we have it on in front of strangers? Remember the video that my husband and I did, and we were talking about the protection, and we were saying, he was saying, not we, because I ain't know nothing about this, that every heinous thought about every heinous thing that could happen in this world, a man has thought of, down to the worst possible crime that we all could think of. Most men have thought about doing it at one time or another, right? That's why you don't have stuff like that on in public. You do not make room. Like I said, you do not bring your domesticated animal into the undomesticated arena without protection. I mean, I just feel like this stuff is not rocket science. I feel like even the animal kingdom knows that. The little animals stay away from the big animals. Like, if you don't have a defense against the animal, like for instance, you know, like a possum plays dead, you know, like a skunk kick his little legs up and spray, you know, but when you don't have defenses, you stay away from the animals that do got them. The animals that can overpower you, you stay away from those. So unless you're out with somebody else that can protect you, you don't go out looking like that. So thank you, Mika. I'm just trying to help today. That's it. That's all I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to help today. Okay. All right. So now we back to Keke. She got lingerie on in the Coliseum while another man serenades her. And then you wrap your arms around him. You gyrate. You grind on him with the biggest smile on your face. Y'all, I ain't see Keke Palmer smile like that in forever. Okay. Listen, I ain't never seen it. Honestly. While another man grinding on you, touching you inappropriately, and you have a whole man at home. Ooh, I gotta hold on, y'all. I gotta turn something off real quick and stop this from being so loud. I'm coming right back. There we go. I'm sorry, y'all. We have like monitors for the kids and stuff. And because you know we need to see what they're doing when they think we can't see what they're doing. So the man was inappropriately touching her, right? So her man decides to put out a tweet. And he says, that outfit though, you a mom. Oh! The world went in an uproar. A whole complete uproar. It was pandemonium in the social media streets about Keke Palmer's man saying literally 6 words. That outfit though, ... you a mom. We could argue that was a little embarrassing. Okay, we could argue that. That would be the only argument that I have on his end. A lot of people don't like that he checked her publicly, right? A lot of people feel like he could have dealt with that at home, right? And that made him a sucker and insecure and not a man. And if a real man wait till his woman get home. And I beg to differ. And I'm going to tell y'all why. Hold on. I remember when Chance the Rapper got chastised for grinding on a woman at Carnival. The women went sick on him because he's a married man, but they're cheering Keke on. Right. Exactly. She says, yes, I know she's not married, but the double standard is real. Oh my God, that is so true. Because I do remember when Chance the Rapper was doing that and he was like at Carnival and the girl was like twerking on him and whatever. And they're like, oh my God, he's married. And they dragged him. And now all of a sudden Keke did it. And you're like, oh my God, sis, you just had your baby. You got your sexy back. We are happy for you. We love this for you. This is why I can't stand us. Because we be wilding. Like, I really don't understand how we don't even see the double standards that we have. It's insane to me. So a lot of people think that, you know, he's insecure. And it made him a sucker, like he wasn't a real man for doing that. But I don't agree with that. You want to know why? I did say in my other one that sometimes women do need to be checked publicly because we're held accountable socially. And when we are held, because we're held accountable socially, we care about what the masses think. And if enough masses say what we did wasn't right, then we have a tendency to change it because we don't want to be the people left out, because that's just a thing with women. However, the way our society is going, most people erred on the side of her, which again, now he done lost the battle before it even started, because the band of toxicity, toxic femininity and feminine empowerment has banded together and took this man down, and now got her with a t-shirt line that says, I'm a mother. I'm so embarrassed, y'all. I am just so embarrassed at this point to have a vajay. A vagine, okay? Because it's sickening. I'm sick to my stomach. I really am. I'm so annoyed. So let's look at this. Let me say why I'm not upset that he checked her a little bit. He didn't really check her to me. That was a comment, and yes, it was public, but it just showed his distaste. I feel like if he didn't say anything, I feel like when a guy does not say anything, when you blatantly act out and he doesn't say anything, I feel like it tells the world that he's okay with it. And then that would have made him something else. And he would not have been able to sleep good at night, knowing that she did that publicly now. Okay. All right. Okay. I said I was going to be calm, and I said I was going to not do this, and I said I was going to be off of here soon. So I am going to be off of here soon. I just had to get this out real quick because people was debating me, y'all. They was wilding. Okay. Look at any game in life. Let's look at any game or class in life. When there's something done wrong in the middle of, let's say, a game, right? Isn't the coach or the referee allowed to say something publicly because you're playing publicly? I don't know. Just somebody else can answer it for me. I don't know. But I feel like when you're in the game publicly, the coach or the referee is allowed to say something publicly. Look at football. You do something, flag on a play. Flag literally on the field. Okay. Basketball, whistle blown, flagrant foul. Couple shots. Flagrant foul. Then there's a consequence, right? So why would we think it's any different than with Keke? Like, flagrant foul, Keke. And he blew the whistle. End of story. Whoa. No, not today. That's what he did. If he wouldn't have said anything, it definitely would have been assumed that he was good with it. Exactly. If he wouldn't have said nothing, it would have said he was good with it. He didn't care about it. And you know what else, dare I say, it would have told other men that he a sucker and they could do it to her too. Hey, he ain't say nothing. He cool with it. You know what I mean? So now she gonna go to another concert and somebody else gonna be grinding on her. She might actually leave with that one this time. Who knows? Because you look loose now. You look loose. That's what you look like. This is the crazy part. This is the crazy part about human nature, right? Is that we always want somebody else to be the bigger person. Isn't that crazy? Like, we want to do what we want to do. But then we want you to be soft in the repercussions of what we've done. We want softness when it comes to how we're disciplined in life. Oh, I know y'all don't like that word. I know y'all don't like that word, discipline. I know. And I'm sorry that I used it. I'm not. Because we all want softness when it comes to our disciplinary process. But guess what? This process happens all the time outside of relationships. Do you think ever, right, that what is happening in your life is just happening? It's never just happening. What's happening in your life is because of what you have at some point put out, a consequence of something you have done, a cause, then an effect. Then an effect causes a new cause, which causes a new effect. That's life. That's life. So now at this point, she wanted him to be soft. Everybody like, he could have said it at home. She wasn't wilding at home. If she was wilding at home, then he would have had a chance to say it at home. But she wasn't wilding at home. She was wilding in the public eye. So he said what he said in the public eye. What we don't realize, right, is that in life, things are usually just mirroring us. We don't realize that we said something when somebody comes at us a certain way, we don't always realize it's because we said something a certain way first. And now we're like, you ain't have to say it like that. And they only responded to what you've done. So now we're upset and chastising them about their response. And we make them look like the bad guy because of their response. When in reality, you were the cause, though. Now, yeah, they could have been the bigger person and said, hey, I want to have this conversation. I want to do this, but can you just tone it down a little bit? But everybody is not in that mental and emotional space to be able to do that. Some people just return energy. That's it. And that's what that man did. She acted up publicly. He said something publicly. If she was at home in the privacy of their home, like they have been this whole time, I'm pretty sure he said stuff to her other times. He just did it at home because she was home. That time she was out. So now you got your band of friends. Oh, and that's another thing. Sidebar, okay? Sidebar. Off of Keke. Small advice real quick. Okay, y'all. This is the worst thing you can do as a woman in a relationship is allow. Cause and effect is a principle. It does not go away. It is a universal, metaphysical, spiritual principle, and cause and effect does not ever go away. Cause always produces an effect, and an effect always produces another cause. That is how we live this life. Other than that, what are we out here doing? What's happening? Where is the stuff coming from? Nowhere? Like the ether? It comes from something. That's the problem in this life. We don't realize the power we actually have here. We think like stuff is just happening, like we on ships being tossed to and fro in the waves of life. It's not. That's not how it is. Everything comes from something. Everything. Whether we want to acknowledge it or not is really up to us, and that determines how long you stay in it. Because if you be like, hey, well, I don't know why this is happening. Oh, well, stay in it then, and you'll figure it out at some point, years later, or not. You'll be dead. And maybe in another lifetime, you'll figure it out. I don't know. But it happens. Cause and effect. That is universal law. There are a lot of them, by the way. And most of the times we don't know them. And that's why we just out here living and being tossed back and forth. And like we in the ocean and we got thrown in the water and we don't know which way is up. So many universal laws that most of us do not deal with. You don't have the right to tell people what the consequences are of your actions. And that's true. If somebody does something to you, somebody does something to you, you do something to somebody, we don't have the right to say how they're going to respond to it at all. Like, I don't think it was nothing wrong that he said nothing to that girl. I feel like she shouldn't have been out doing it with her cheeks out. I thought, okay, in the beginning when they showed her in the front, right? She had the little black on, but y'all know how I just said I feel about lace with black, but she had the little black on, okay. And it was in the front, kind of gave a little Beyonce vibe, but then she turned around and there was nothing in the back. So, got your little high, tooted up butt cheeks out, okay. I mean, the thing that I was worried about is you in a hot Coliseum, and I'm a woman. I know your butt cheeks are sweating, and you had that thong rolled all up in there. I know that thing was wet and swampy when she got home. Sorry. When I seen it, it didn't say sexy. It said swamp ass. That's what it said to me. Like, that's what I saw. I was like, ooh, it's going to be a little grimy up in there when she get home, a little sweaty. I don't know. But, hey, that's just me. I be thinking of the crazy stuff. Like, I wouldn't have that on. Not when I'm about to be somewhere hot, unless I'm on a beach and I could hop in some water and cool off or something. You know what I'm saying? So back to my original point, y'all. So we want a man that's going to be soft and nice, and good to us, even when we do something wrong, right? And me and my husband kind of have this thing, like, and I don't know when it started. I think we just both just realized like we're like practical about a lot of things, and we don't really require apologies. Like, so I'm really sorry that I did that to you. How can I make this better? We mainly want acknowledgement and understanding. I acknowledge that I did that, and I acknowledge how it made you feel. And I didn't even realize I was doing that. I am going to work on that. For me, I'm sorry is just words. Anybody can say it. I just need to know that you understand what I'm saying, and that you understand what bothered me, and that you understand what hurt me. And I think same with him. Like, when I understand where he's coming from, he's perfectly fine. As long as I'm like, oh, okay, I get it. I see that. So what you're saying is this. Okay, I got it. I didn't even realize I was doing that, working on it. I'm going to work on it. Just stop. That's it. Just try your best to stop. That's the best you can do, right? So, it's about acknowledgement. It's about understanding where the person's coming from. And I feel like with Keke, if that was me, I would have stayed quiet. But wait, hold on. I got to get back to my regular advice. Okay, y'all. So this is the problem that's happening with toxic women in our empowerment groups that are not really empowering us. They're messing us up. When a man does something, right? When a man does something, I'm sorry, somebody just came in my house and I'm like, who is that? Pew, pew. Okay. When a man does something and it's your man, tell your friends to shut the hell up, period. Because your miserable friends are always going to be on a phone gassing you up about what he did. And they definitely shouldn't ever be able to confront him and be like, because how you doing, my sis? How you doing, my good sis? I don't rock with you, and they shouldn't be able to do it. All right? Just trust me on that. Don't do it, and don't allow it to happen, and don't listen. That's why I only talk to certain people. I don't talk to people unless they are spiritually sound and energetically sound and emotionally sound about anything that my husband and I are going through. Because when I'm talking to somebody, I need real advice, real time. I need encouragement. I need real words. I do not need you coddling me or being like, girl, because if I was you, when you wouldn't do that either. So be quiet. Okay, stop. So that's just a sidebar. All right. And I get it for Keke. Everybody's kind of like, oh, I love that for her. She's like had a baby and she's like getting her groove back. I love that for her when you're 24. I love that for her when she doesn't have a breastfeeding baby at home. I love that for her then. I don't love it for her now. I just think it was a bit much. It's my opinion. I wish I was upset with him for saying the little 6 words that he said, but he could have said worse. He just didn't. A lot of people are saying he's gaslighting about saying like she's a mom when really he's doing it to mask his insecurity. But I think in his mind, he's like, guys think way farther out than we think. And I think in his mind, like, 1, your kid could grow up and see this. 2, we're together. 3, you're being wild, disrespectful. 4, your butt cheeks is out on national TV. And 5, there's a newborn baby at home with who? Because it might not even have been him. It might have been like a nanny or something. But there was a lot of variables there, right? But this is what I will say. I will say that I do think they're ping-ponging the wrong back and forth in a sense. So for him, y'all remember my last video, I said that when you're not married to the man, that he only has a certain level of authority in your life. And it's usually authority that you allowed him to have in your life. When you're just a girlfriend, you get to choose the level of authority that the man in your life has. Because how? Like, I just want to know. Like, yeah, you're my boyfriend. And yeah, but I get to choose the level of which how far I'm going to follow you and listen. Because we're not the same. I'm not a part of your camp. We don't have the same last name. I'm not completely under your covering like that. So yeah, I might follow you here or not. So she might have felt that. I still don't think what she did was right. But in another sense, she obviously did not give that man that level of authority in her life. She was like, I'm outside. Look at me. Look at me on Usher. Look at me. I'm on Usher. Hey, I'm on Usher. I love me some Usher. Maybe that's what she was thinking. Maybe Usher is her favorite artist of all time. Because, I love me some Tank. So, I don't know. It's crazy. We all got that little celebrity crush that we got. Maybe he'd be willing to risk it all if he sees somebody. So, maybe that was that for her. Who knows? But you only have authority over what's yours. And men need to understand that. You only have authority over what is yours. Not what's borrowed. Not what's not solidified. You have authority over what's yours. and what was solidified. You only have authority once you've staked claim on something. And a baby doesn't necessarily do that now. Not in 2023. Maybe in 1998 it did. But in 2023, a baby doesn't count for much now. People doing it. That's why, y'all, we have glorified baby mama culture so much and so bad. It's disgusting. It's to the point where baby mamas think they're above wives. Oh, especially if the baby mama got a kid and the wife don't. In their mind, well, I got his kid, so I'm being his life forever. And, you know, that's just his wife, but I got his kid. That happens to animals every day. If you let a cat outside, it'll come home pregnant. That's not, I'm just saying, like, when did that become so glorified to have some guy's kid that y'all haven't solidified anything? I was never with baby mama culture. Call me judgy if you want. I was never with it. Even when I was younger, I'd always told my parents I was going to be married by the time I was 21, and then I was going to have my kid. That was my life. That's what I said. I was married by the time I was 21. I ain't with that husband no more though, because we got married kind of young. You know, we don't beef or nothing, but we got married mad young. That thing was crazy. But we actually did really good. We stayed married for a pretty long time to be very young. And then you know, he had his little affair with my best friend, and womp 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 womp. And you know, that was the beginning of the end, like for me. So, you know, exactly. Backwards thinking. That's just what it is. We just baby mama culture. I don't think that you should really just be busting it open and letting guys shoot the club up. Like, I don't think that every guy's worth that. That's just my opinion. But in my other opinion, though, this is how I feel personally. This is my personal opinion for me, that if a man is good enough to duplicate and replicate in this world, like if you deem him good enough, strong enough, you love him enough to want to duplicate him, to want to replicate him in the world, then you should at least have enough wherewithal to respect him. Or you shouldn't have his child, period. Like, if you're going to have a guy's child and not listen to him or not respect him, then there was no point in having his kid, because it's going to be messy at best. And that's not a right or wrong. I'm not saying anybody who does it is wrong. Anybody who doesn't do it is wrong. That's just me. I just feel like baby mama culture makes life and our society messy. And I just don't like mess. Like, mess just is chaotic to me. I don't like that. I'm a structured type of person. So it just causes mess. Like, it's just a lot of mess going on. It just gets too sticky. Like, it's weird. The baby is his property, but lives with you. So it just makes it messy at best. Like, when you got something that it lives somewhere else, but it's yours. Like, let's say I tell my sister, "Ooh, can you hold my massage tables at your house?" Like, I think I don't have the space. They got to go there. And then I need to be able to get in and get them. I need to be able to do what I need to do with them. So it always creates like this weird push-pull effect. When you got something in somebody else's house, you still have some amount of wherewithal and pull at that house. So I don't know. I don't like it. I feel like, Keke, if you wasn't, you know, I think nowadays women are kind of like, our biological clocks are ticking. We haven't met a guy yet. The guy hasn't married us yet. So let me hurry up and have a kid because I might never have one. I don't know, but I just don't agree with doing it like that. No, I just don't. I think she was spiteful. Why do you think she was being spiteful? Did something happen before the concert? You think she was mad at him? Like they had an argument or something? Or, you know, she just was like, I'm about to go outside and I'm about to have my cheeks out and I'm about to gyrate on Usher. Because here's the thing, we can't really say she was being spiteful because how did she know Usher was going to come over and pick her? Unless he called her first, but like, you know, how would she have known that? You know, it just seems like it was something that happened and she just enjoyed it a bit much. You know what I mean? So that's just my take. This is why if a man is not going to solidify the relationship and commit to her for real, a woman shouldn't be having his kids. Nobody knows their roles. It's a constant struggle for power. You know what I'm saying? Like in a relationship, in a marriage, at least, well, some marriages do have a struggle for power, but at least in a marriage that is traditional, that there's a leader, there's a head of household. It's usually the guy. Nowadays, though, the girls is the head of households and the guys just sit back. I really don't know what's going on. This is why I always say I hate it here. Okay? I hate it here. Nobody knows what's going on. We're in an uproar. And it's not working out for people. That's why they're complaining and they're going sick, and it's a war against men and women, and I hate it. Like, when did this happen? When did this war start? We used to love each other. We used to get along. Now, we not. Is Keke in the first row? Why wouldn't he pick her? Well, first of all, here's the thing. A certain baby. Listen, have you read the statistics lately? That is the majority. Because baby mamas are baby mamas. Now you got some that are nice and some that are cooperative. And some that are just too old for the mess and they just kind of want to move on with their life. But let me say this. Is Keke in the first row? Why wouldn't he pick her? Okay, let me say this. I would imagine that Usher. See, one thing that about men is that men are not possessive. They're territorial. So when a man sees another man with a woman, as much as attractive as he may think that woman is, he's not going to go over to her. I'm going to give an example. My husband and I were out Friday night, and there is a guy, right, that I don't really know him personally. He's helped me out with something, like he did some work for my dad and at his house. And the first thing he said when he saw me was, "Hey, how you doing? Go tell your husband I said what's up." Now, I knew what that was. I knew exactly what that meant. That meant I'm not trying to get at you. I'm just saying hello. Go tell your husband I said what's up. Men that know men stuff, they know how to move around other men. Usher, it's clear that either he think Keke's single or he don't respect the man that she's with. Because if he did, I don't think he would have picked Keke out the audience. There's a million other nobody girls that would have loved that man to gyrate all over them. You pick Keke Palmer, and let's be clear, and I'm a woman saying this, Keke Palmer has always given girl next door energy, and that's another thing. Sidebar, side conversation, let's get over here. As a woman, and this is just advice, if you are operating outside of your major archetype of femininity, because there's a lot, right? There's a lot of archetypes. It's a video for another day. I'll get into it another day, right? But if your archetype is more like the maiden, meaning the young girl next door, flitty, laughy, laughy, and then you try to operate like the siren, like the sex kitten, like the provocative, sexy, alluring one, that's why it always looks out of place. You ever notice that you'll see, like, somebody put a picture up of Rihanna being pregnant and looking sexy, and then they put a picture of Krishan up looking pregnant, and Krishan just looked crazy and Rihanna didn't, even though the outfit were kind of similar. And somebody was like, Nate, why is this so different? It's okay for Rihanna but not for her. Because it just is. Because Rihanna's major archetype is the lover and the siren. You can tell based on her movements, her accent, the way she looks, the way she talks, her vibe. She is that. That is her. So when she does it, it doesn't look awkward. People look past her like, oh, this she just doing what she do. But when you operate outside of the archetype and then you try to put on another archetype, it stands out way too much. And that's why it just looked like Keke was trying too hard to me. I don't know. It just didn't seem like her. She always gave like girl next door tomboy energy. As a matter of fact, wasn't she gay for like a second? She was like dating girls. Nobody even like was checking for her. Now all of a sudden you bust out in lingerie pretty much with your butt crack out at a Coliseum gyrating on Usher. When? How? It's all too much for me. But that's the sidebar. But that's what I'm saying. So Usher didn't respect her man. And they said it just came out that he tried to serenade another girl, but she hopped in her man's lap. And she was like, He tried to get her up, and she hopped up and hopped right in that man's lap of hers and said, oh, no. I won't be doing that. So I feel like guys be knowing who they could try. And I feel like, little El DeBarge, with whoever she with, little curly hair dude, he ain't. I should say, please. I'm about to pick her up, and she about to love it. And that's what's going to be it. Was he supposed to push her away? He's the one that grabbed her. Why would he push her away? That doesn't make sense. The comment says, oh, I'm on the wrong computer, y'all. I'm sorry. He is an entertainer at an event, and he's not going to pass up a chance to get her on stage. Why? Keke Palmer's not. Y'all, listen. Keke Palmer ain't even it. Like, come on. I'm pretty sure there was other girls like Keke Palmer don't give that. I mean, she got a little weave now and some red lips. I don't know. Don't see it. He's not going to pass up a chance to get her on stage. Keke's not even an A-list celebrity. I don't get it. Like, what is the allure? She leads the act, not Usher. Was he supposed to push her away? Well, he grabbed her up. So the fact that he grabbed her and then she got up, he's not going to push her away. I'm talking about the fact that he even grabbed her. Like I said, men know who to try. And that's not even in real life. That's in real life. Like, guys don't, There's certain men that people wouldn't do that to. And Usher apparently, they both was disrespectful. In my opinion. She was definitely disrespectful to her man, for sure. That's a fact. She was definitely disrespectful to him. Definitely, that's a fact. But like I said, if your man was there, not as much happening. Not as much happening. But she with her girls. I mean, it happens. I ain't mad at it. But I will say this. I think we complicate things much more so than they need to be. It's very simple to me. Just don't be out looking like that. I mean, at this point, at my age, at my big grown age, I'm not going to be out. Maybe, but Keke Palmer's probably like 32. So yeah, she got a couple more years before she says that that's a little too much. She's also an entertainer. A lot for them is not too much. But that's why I'm saying, again, this is not about her being an entertainer. When I speak to women in regular layman's terms. For the people that are out here, is a learning lesson, a teaching lesson. Y'all don't do it. It's a setup. Do not be out with your butt cheeks out, thinking you cute with your man at home, gyrating on another man. It is not a good look. Keke brought this one on, and you're gonna bring that same thing on. I think now they unfollowed each other on social media. It's a whole debacle now. It's just stupid. Like, it's just stupid. And I think it could have all been avoided. All she had to do is be like the coy girl when he tried to pull her up. No, it's okay. No, I'm fine. I'm good. Ow, my elbow, yeah. No, I'm fine. I'm good. No, it's okay. And then push one of your single girlfriends up there. Because that's what I would have did. No, girl, you go. Girl, that's Usher. I would have threw her up there so fast. What I do know is that it wouldn't have been me, because I promised this. Husband's not even insecure, but I know when I got home, he wouldn't have been pleased. He might have kicked my head clean off. Like, I don't care if he Usher. I mean, I'm not attracted to Usher anyway. He just doesn't do it for me. So, I mean, I don't know. That's me. He just doesn't do it for me at all. So I'd have been like, ugh. But another thing, I'm not starstruck either. Like, I could care less. Like, there's only one celebrity I think that I care about or I like. But other than that, it's not that big of a deal to me. I'm not starstruck. So you try to pull me out of an audience. I'm not about to disrespect the man that I love, that is providing and protecting for me on a daily basis and loving me on a daily basis and providing, buying stuff, you know, making sure I'm emotionally okay, making sure I'm physically okay, making sure that I'm mentally okay, telling me, hey, babe, I read this new book. I think you should read this book is good. Let me tell you, I was reading a new book the other day. I'm not about to jeopardize that just because you want to put me on stage and gyrate for 3.5 seconds. And now I've disrespected my whole household. Like, it's just not worth it to me. But that's just me. Hey, I don't know. So, like I said, I made my son, I ordered some pizza. I ain't make him nothing. I ordered me some pizza and some wings, and I told him I was going to go eat with him and do all that. So I didn't want to be this long, but I just had to get this out. My next one, I don't know when it's going to be because I've been busy, y'all. I got like a little promotion at work and my elbow got messed up. I got to get these little small procedures so that I don't have to get a huge surgery. But my right hand is my life. Y'all know that. This is what I do. My right hand is how I work and build my business. So I can't not have it. So I got to get it fixed. But you can be confident and attractive without going to that level in your attire. Come on, Mika. Right. Exactly. Because, you know, I feel like I get sexy a lot. You know, I'm usually with my husband. When I'm with my girls, I look cute. You know what I'm saying? I look cute. When I'm with him, I get sexy. And that's because when I'm out sexy, y'all want guys, yo, excuse me, miss, excuse me, ma'am, how you doing? Excuse me. Oh. Then I got to be nice and turn you down and say I'm married. And then, you know, their next line, your husband will let you have friend. Oh, my God. One day I broke some guy down. He said, your husband will let you have friends. I said, oh, so you want to be my friends? So what does that entail? Does that entail when he messes up that I get to come talk to you about it and cry on your shoulder? And then I finally leave him because he's acting up so bad. And then I end up with you. But then while I'm out and you're my man, and then another guy asks me to be friends, then I'm going to do the same thing to you too. Right? And the cycle continues. So I don't need friends, especially not guy friends. I got enough uncles and boy cousins. I don't need guy friends. It's just really that simple. So, and I got sons. I don't need guy friends. Well, anyway, y'all, I love y'all. I'm about to get off of here, go eat. I'll let y'all know on my next one. I promise I'll give more notice next time. I really just didn't have time to create the stream today. But the next one, I promise I will give more insight. Okay. I will give y'all more intel before it happens. So I will talk to y'all later. I will see y'all another time. I love y'all and enjoy the rest of your night. Bye.